How do I look?
You look great.
Thanks. Weight Watchers. I've been on Weight Watchers for 5 years. I've lost $836 and a half a pound. So at the table, every year at Thanksgiving, my mom would always, you know, and still does at 83, she'll be like, oh, let's all talk about something we're thankful for. So kind of, you know, I mean that's a good thing, I guess, for her to want us to do, but specifically, I'll go back to rehearsal dinner. So just a little background. December 2nd coming up, I went to a party and met a girl who's now my wife. It was 40 years ago, December 2nd, 1983. For any of you who were around, most of you weren't, it was the world premiere of Michael Jackson's Thriller video on MTV. So anyway, we met at a party. She was actually dating a friend of mine, and then we ran into each other at the library. This was at University of Georgia in February of '84, and we've been together pretty much ever since. So here was our wedding weekend, and we had our rehearsal dinner. I don't know if anybody remembers Beals, which was on College. So probably more people don't. It was a great restaurant. What's that?
Rainforest Bar upstairs.
Yeah. We got married at the Hay House. We lived in New York City at the time, and I was pretty insistent we get married up north because, you know, I'm a guy and, you know, I was being selfish, and we had a bigger family than she did, and we looked all over places on the Delaware River in Pennsylvania, and, you know, finally I just got off my high horse, and she planned it, and we got married at the Hay House, and the people who could make it made it, and it was really a phenomenal wedding. And but anyway, so I guess a night or two before, we were having dinner at the at Beals, and it was rehearsal dinner, and my mom's like, why don't we go around the table and say something that we remember or we want to point out about Joe or Ellen? So of course that became the opportunity for people to start talking about drunken experiences that I had, you know, as we went along. And, you know, it started out mild enough. I think I had a buddy from high school, and he was talking about that party that I had when my parents went away for the weekend and told me not to have a party. And, you know, so that was kind of tough. And then my brother started telling a story. He was, we're from central New Jersey, but he was living down in South Florida. And I guess I went to one of his sales parties and started snooping around without permission, of course, in the kitchen, and found some Jell-O and started making Jell-O shots. So that kind of looked at me funny. But really, the pièce de résistance was when I was I don't know if it was my senior year at Georgia, and I had an incident with grain alcohol. I don't know if anybody's had grain. I had a roommate, and we pretty much drank a bottle of grain, and it was supposed to be a party out on the lawn of one of the dorms, and it was a rainy night, so they put it in Memorial Hall, which used to be the student center, just all concrete. And supposedly, I don't remember, I fell on a flight of stairs and was taken to the hospital and had 18 stitches put in top of my head, and went to the infirmary, and they let me out the next day. And I went home, and I just was sick as a dog. I went back to the infirmary and was there for 11 straight days with an IV in my arm, stuffing gauze in my head like 3 times a day. And I remember telling my parents at the time that I just had, you know, tripped down on a flight of stairs and, you know, got an infection, so I was in the hospital. I kind of left out all the details. So here it was. You go back to that, actually a teacher was majoring in broadcast journalism, and we had to take media law, and I had a professor who was really kind of out there, and it was a tough class. If I would have had to drop his class, because again I was in the infirmary for 11 days, it would have been really difficult. So he made a deal with me that I could continue into his class, but I had to go to every other class and show them my head. It's like kind of a public service announcement. So I don't think you can get away with that stuff now, but burp or whatever. So here I am at my rehearsal dinner, and I'm already a little bit queasy because of these stories being told. And then I guess one of my groomsmen decided he was going to tell that story. And it just was like, you know, you just see my mom just kind of turning, you know, great. So Yeah, I'm glad I went to school 1,000 miles away. I'm glad my future wife had a party on the night of the world premiere of Michael Jackson's Thriller video, almost 40 years ago when many of you weren't born yet. And just glad to be on stage, really with no permanent results. I mean, if anybody wants, you could take a look at my hair now that it's thinning. You can kind of see where the stitches were, but other than that, and of course, be very disappointed if my kids were in college and they were drinking or anything. So definitely do as I say, not as I did. Thank you.